ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः। हरिः ओम्। Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 3. Krishna is the source of all incarnations. Suta Uvacha Jagruhe Paurusham Rupam Bhagavan Mahad Adibihi Sambhutam Shodasha Kalam Adau Loka Tishrikshaya. Suta said, in the beginning of creation, the Lord first expanded himself in the universal form of the Purusha incarnation and manifested all the ingredients for the material creation. And thus, at first, there was the creation of 16 principles of material action. This was for the purpose of creating the material universes. Yasyambhasi sayanasya yoga nidram vitanvata nabi hridam bujjad asid brahma vishwasrajam patihi. A part of the Purusha lies down within the water of the universe. From the navel lake of his body sprouts a lotus stem, and from the lotus flower atop this stem, the master of all engineers in the universe becomes manifest. Yasyavayava samsthanai kalpito lokavishratara tad vai bhagavato rupam vishuddham sattvam urjitam. It is believed that all the universal planetary systems are situated on the extensive body of the Purusha, but he has nothing to do with the created material ingredients. His body is eternally in spiritual existence par excellence. Pasyanti adaurupa adabhra chakshusha sahasrapadaro bhujanana bhujabutam sahasramurdha shravanakshi nasikam sahasra mauli ambara kundalolasat. The devotees, with their perfect eyes, see the transcendental form of the Purusha who has thousands of legs, thighs, arms, and faces, all extraordinary. In that body, there are thousands of heads, ears, eyes, and the nose and noses. They are decorated with thousands of helmets and glowing earrings and are adorned with garlands. एतान् नानावताराणं निधानं बीजम् अव्ययं यस्यां सेन सृजन्ते देव तिर्यन् नरादया. This form, the second manifestation of the Purusha, is the source and indestructible seed of multifarious incarnations within the universe. From the particles and portions of this form, different living entities like demigods, men, and others are created. स एव प्रथमं देवा कौमारं सर्गम् आश्रिता चचार दुष्टरं brahmacharyam akhanditam. First of all, in the beginning of creation, there were the four unmarried sons of Brahma, the Kumaras, who, being situated in a vow of celibacy, underwent severe austerities for realization of the absolute truth. द्वितीयं तु भवायस्य रसातलगतां मुहिम् उदरिष्यम् उपादत्त यज्ञेश सौकरं vapuhu. The supreme enjoyer of all sacrifices accepted the incarnation of a boar, the second incarnation, and for the welfare of the earth, he lifted the earth from the nether regions of the universe. तृतीयां ऋषि सर्गं वै देवर्षित्वम् उपेत्य सः तन्त्रं सात्वं सात्वतम् आचस्त नैष्कर्म्यं कर्मणां यतः. In the millennium of the rishis, the personality of Godhead accepted the third empowered incarnation in the form of Devarshi Narada, who is a great sage among the demigods. He collected expositions of the Vedas which deal with devotional service and which inspire non-fruitive action. तुर्ये धर्मकला सर्गे नरनारायणाश्रिषि भूत्वात्मोपसमोपेतम् अकरोत् दुश्चरं tapah. In the fourth incarnation, the Lord became Nara and Narayana, the twin sons of the wife of King Dharma. Thus, he undertook severe and exemplary penances to control the senses. Panchama Kapilo Nama Siddhesha Kala Viplutam cha suraye sankyam tattva grama vinirnayam. The fifth incarnation, named Lord Kapila, is foremost among perfected beings. He gave an exposition of the creative elements and metaphysics of Asuri Brahmana, for in course of time this knowledge had been lost. षष्ठम् अत्रेर् अपत्रत्वं वृतः प्राप्तो अनसूयया अन्विकीक्षिकम् अलर्काय प्रह्लादादिभ्या ऊचिवा. The sixth incarnation of Purusha was the son of sage Atri. He was born from the womb of Anasuya, who prayed for an incarnation. He spoke on the subject of transcendence to Alarka, Prahlada, and other Yadu, Haihaya, etc. तदा सप्तमा आकूत्यां रुचेर यज्ञो अभ्यजायत स यमाद्यै सुरगणैर अपात स्वयंभुवान्तरम्. The seventh incarnation was Yajna, the son of Prajapati Ruchi and his wife Akuti. He controlled the period during the change of the Swayambhu Manu and was assisted by demigods such as his son Yama. अष्टमे मेरुदेव्यां तु नाभेर्जात उरुक्रमा दर्शयन् वर्त्म धीराणां सर्वाश्रम namaskritam. The eighth incarnation was King Rishabha, son of King Nabi and his wife Meru Devi. In this incarnation, the Lord showed the path of perfection, which is followed by those who have fully controlled their senses and who are honored by all orders of life. ऋषिभिर्याचितो भेजे नवमं पार्थिवं वपुः दुग्धे माम् ओषधीर्विप्रास् तेनायं स उषत्तमा. O Brahmanas, in the ninth incarnation, the Lord prayed for by sages, accepted the body of a king Prithu, who cultivated the land to yield various produce, and for that reason the earth was beautiful and attractive. रूपं स जग्रे मात्स्यं चक्षुषोदधि सम्प्लावे नाव्य आरोप्य महीमय्यम् अपाद वैवस्वतं मनुः. When there was a complete inundation after the period of Chakshusha Manu and the whole world was deep within water, the Lord accepted the form of a fish and protected Vaivaswata Manu, keeping him up on a boat. सुरासुराणाम् उदभिः मत्नातां मन्दराचलं दद्रे कमतरूपेण पृष्ठ एकादशे विभु. The 11th incarnation of the Lord took the form of a tortoise whose shell served as a pivot for the Mandarachala hill, which was being used as a churning rod by the theists and atheists of the universe. दान्वन्तरं द्वादशमं त्रयोदशमम् एव च अपाययत् सुरा अन्यान् मोहिन्या मोहयन् स्त्रिया. In the 12th incarnation, the Lord appeared as Dhanvantari. In the 13th, he allured the atheists by the charming beauty of a woman and gave nectar to the demigods to drink. चतुर्दशं नारसिंहं बिभ्रद् दैत्येन्द्रम् ऊर्जितं ददार करजैर् ऊराव एरकां कथा कृत यथा. In the 14th incarnation, the Lord appeared as Narasimha and bifurcated the strong body of atheist Hiranyakashipu with his nails, just as a carpenter pierces cane. पञ्चदशां वामनकं कृत्वागात् अध्वरं बले पदत्रयं याचमानः प्रत्यादिष्टुस्त्रिपिष्टपम् Pishtapam. In the 15th incarnation, the Lord assumed the form of a dwarf Brahmana Vamana and visited the arena of sacrifice arranged by Maharaj Bali. Although at heart he was willing to regain the kingdom of three planetary systems, he simply asked for a donation of 3 steps of land. अवतारे षोडश मे पश्यां ब्रह्म ध्रुवो नृपान् त्रिसप्त कृत्वा कुपितो निक्षत्रम् akaron mahim. In the 16th incarnation of the Godhead, Lord as Bhrugupati annihilated the administrative class, Kshatriya, 21 times, being angry with them because of their rebellion against the Brahmanas, the intelligent class. तथा सप्तदशे जाता सत्यवत्यां पराशरात् चक्रे वेदतरोः शाखा दत्वा पुंसो अल्पमेधसः. Thereafter, in the 17th incarnation of Godhead, Sri Vyasadeva appeared in the womb of Satyavati through Parashara Muni, and he divided the one Vedas into several branches and sub-branches, seeing that the people in general were less intelligent. Naradevatvam Apanna Sura Karya Chikirshaya Samudra Nigrahadinani Chakre Viryani Atah Param. In the 18th incarnation, the Lord appeared as Lord Rama. In order to perform some pleasing work for the demigods, he exhibited superhuman powers by controlling the Indian Ocean and then killing the atheist king Ravana, who was on the other side of the sea. एकोनविंशे विंशतिमे वृष्णिषु प्राप्य जन्मनि राम कृष्णाव इति भुवो भगवान अहरद भरम. In the 19th and 20th incarnations, the Lord advented himself as Lord Balarama and Lord Krishna in the family of Vrishni, the dynasty, the Yadu dynasty. And by so doing, he removed the burden of the world. तथा कलो संप्रवृत्ते सम्मोहाय सुरद्विषां बुद्धो नाम्नज्ञजनसुता कीकतेषु भविष्यति. Then in the beginning of Kali Yuga, the Lord will appear as Lord Buddha, the son of Ajnana, in the province of Gaya, just for the purpose of deluding those who are envious of the faithful theist. अथासौ युगसन्ध्यायां दस्यु प्रायेषु राजसु जनिता विष्णु यशसो नाम्ना कल्किर्जगत्पतिः. Thereafter, the conjunction of two yugas, the Lord of the creation will take his birth as the Kalki incarnation and become the son of Vishnu Yasha. At this time, almost all the rulers of earth will have degenerated into plunderers. अवतारा हि असंख्येया हरे सत्त्वनिधेर्द्विजा यथा विदासिन कुल्या सरसः स्यु सहस्रशः. O Brahmanas, the incarnations of the Lord are innumerable, like rivulets flowing from inexhaustible sources of water. ऋषो मनवो देवा मनुपुत्रा महौजस कला सर्वे हरेरेव सप्रजापतयः स्मृता. All the rishis, manus, demigods, and descendants of Manu who are especially powerful are plenary portions or portions of the plenary portions of the Lord. This also includes the Prajapatis. एते चांसकला पुंसा कृष्णस्तु भगवान् स्वयं इंद्रारे व्याकुलं लोकं हृदयन्ति युगे युगे. All of the above mentioned incarnations are either plenary portions or portions of the plenary portions of the Lord. But Lord Sri Krishna is the original personality of Godhead. All of them appear on planets whenever there is a disturbance created by the atheists. The Lord incarnates to protect the theists. जन्मगुह्यं भगवतो य एतत् प्रयतो नरः सायं प्रातर्गृणं भक्त्या दुःखग्रामाद् विमुच्यते. Whoever carefully recites the mysterious appearances of the Lord with devotion in the morning and the evening get relief from all miseries of life. एतद् रूपं भगवतो हि अरूपस्य चित् आत्मनः मायागुणैर्विरचितं महदादिभिर् आत्मनि. The conception of Virat, universal form of Lord, as appearing in the material world is imaginary. It is to enable the less intelligent and the neophytes to adjust to the idea of Lord's having form. But factually, the Lord has no material form. यथा नभसि मेघौघो रेणुर्वा पार्थिवो अनिले एवं दृष्टरि दृष्ट्यत्वम् आरोपितम् अबुदिभिः. Clouds and dust are carried by the air, but less intelligent persons say that sky is cloudy and the air is dirty. Similarly, they also implant material bodily conceptions on the spirit soul. अतः परम यद अव्यक्तम अव्यूढ़ गुण ब्रह्मितम अदृष्टास् अदृष्टाश्रुत वत्सुत्वात् सजीवो यत् पुनर्भवः. Beyond this gross conception of form is another subtle conception of form, which is without formal shape and is unseen, unheard, and unmanifest. The living being has his form beyond this subtlety, otherwise, he could not have repeated births. यत्रे मे सदसद्रूपे प्रतिसिद्धे स्वसंविदा अविद्यायात्मनि कृते इति तद् ब्रह्मदर्शनम्. Whenever a person experiences by self realization that both the gross and subtle bodies have nothing to do with the pure self, at that time he sees himself as well as the Lord. यदि एपोपरता देवी माया वैशारदीमति संपन्न एवेति विदुर महिम्नि स्वे महीयते. If the illusory energy subsides and the living entity becomes fully enriched with knowledge by the grace of the Lord, then he becomes at once enlightened with self realization and thus becomes situated in his own glory. एवं जन्मानि कर्माणि हि अकर्तुर् अजनस्य च वर्णयन्ति स्म कवयो वेद गुह्यानि हृत्पते. Thus learned men describe the births and activities of unborn and inactive, which is undiscoverable even in the Vedic literatures. He is the Lord of the heart. सवा इदं विश्वम् अमोघलीलः सृजति अवति अत्ति न सज्जते अस्मिन् भूतेषु चान्तर्हिता आत्मतन्त्र साड्वर्गिकं जिग्रति षड् गुणेशः. The Lord, whose activities are always spotless, is the master of six senses and is fully omnipotent with six opulences. He creates the manifested universes, maintains them, and annihilates them without being in the least affected. He is within every living being and is always independent. न चास्य कश्चिन् निपुणेन धातुर् अवैति जन्तुः कुमनीश ऊतिः नामानि रूपाणि मनोवचोभिः सन्तन्वतो नठ चर्याम् इवाग्नयः. The foolish with a poor fund of knowledge cannot know the transcendental nature of the forms, names, and activities of the Lord, who is playing like an actor in a drama. Nor can they express such things, neither in their speculations nor in their words. सवेद धातुः पदवीं परस्य दुरन्त वीर्यस्य रथाङ्गपाणे यो अमायाय सन्ततयानुवृत्त्या भजेत तत्पादसरोजगन्धम्. Only those who render unreserved, uninterrupted, favorable service unto the lotus feet of Lord Krishna, who carries the wheel of the chariot in his hand, can know the creator of the universe in his full glory, power, and transcendence. अतेह धन्य भगवन्त इत्थं यद् वासुदेवे अखिललोकनाथे कुर्वन्ति सर्वात्मकम् आत्मभावं न यत्र भूय परिवर्त उग्रः. Only by making such inquiries in this world can one be successful and perfectly cognizant, for such inquiries invoke transcendental ecstatic love unto the personality of Godhead, who is the proprietor of all the universes and guarantees cent percent immunity from the dreadful repetition of birth and death. इदं भागवतं नाम पुराणं ब्रह्मसंहितम् उत्तमश्लोकचरितं चकार भगवान् ऋषि निश् निःश्रेयस्य लोकस्य धन्य स्वस्ति अयं महत्. This Srimad Bhagavatam is a literary incarnation of God and is compiled by Sri Vyasadeva, the incarnation of God. It is meant for the ultimate good of all people and it is all successful all blissful and all perfect. तदिदं ग्राह्याम् आशा सुतम् आत्मवतां वरं सर्ववेदेतिहासानां सारं सारं समुद्रतम्. Sri Vyasadeva delivered it to his son, who is the most respected among the self-realized, after extracting the cream of all Vedic literatures and histories of the universe. Sato samshravyan asha maharajam parikshitam prayopavistam gangayam paritam paramarshibhihi. Sukadeva Goswami, the son of Vyasadeva, in his turn delivered the Bhagavatam to the great emperor Parikshit, who sat surrounded by sages on the bank of the Ganges, awaiting death without taking food or drink. कृष्णे स्वधामोपगते धर्मज्ञानादिभिः सह दृष्टाम् एषा पुराणार्को अधुनोतितः. This Bhagavad Puran is as brilliant as the sun, and it has risen just after the departure of Lord Krishna to his own abode, accompanied by religion, knowledge, etc. Persons who have lost their vision due to the dense darkness of ignorance in the age of Kali shall get light from this Purana. तत्र कीर्तयतो विप्र विप्रर्षेर्भूरि तेजसा अहं चाद्य गमं तत्र निविष्टस्तद् अनुग्रहात् सोऽहं वा श्रावयिष्यामि यथादीतं यथा मतिः. O learned Brahmanas, when Sukadeva Goswami recited Bhagavatam there in the presence of the Emperor Parikshit, I heard him with rapt attention, and thus by his mercy I learned the Bhagavatam from that great and powerful sage. Now I shall try to make you hear the very same thing as I heard it from, as I learned it from him, and as I have realized it. Thus ends chapter 3 from Canto 1, entitled Krishna is the source of all incarnations. Hare Krishna. Uh, we didn't record. I hope YouTube is streaming. Let's see. Okay. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much. If you want to go through the quick highlights for next couple of minutes, this is very, very important chapter to help us understand that Lord can expand himself in portions, plenary portions, portions of plenary portions. And here it says that this is not just imagination, or this is not just a speculation, or this is not just a, a creation of man. It is in fact written by Vyasadev, and who has written the Vedas and who has provided the cream of all this in the form of Srimad Bhagavatam. If you see from the connection between the previous chapter or the first chapter and here, in this chapter, Suta Goswami is answering few questions. Yeah, there is this question which was there, which was already answered about the incarnations, explaining about the Purusha avatars. In the second chapter, there were last verses which were telling about the Purusha avatar, about Karanadakashai Vishnu, Garbhodakashai Vishnu, Kshirodakashai Vishnu, how the Lord expands, and from him how the Lord other Manvantaras and Manus, everyone expand. And here is a whole list of all expansions said further. The incarnations, which is about question um, 5, what are all the incarnations of the Lord? Yeah, they are innumerable. Hmm. And of that, yeah, it is said in the 26th verse, it is said the Supreme Lord has innumerable incarnations. Avatara hi asankheya. Hare sattva nidher tvija. So it says there are so many innumerable incarnations, just like rivulets flowing from inexhaustible sources of water. We can see, and here it's yeah, there is this list of the incarnations giving the name number also. What is the incarnations? They are the first Kumaras, and then we can see that Varaha avatar, and then there is Narada, then Naranarayan. then Kapila Rishi, then Dattatreya, son of Atri and Anasuya, then Yajna, who is the son of Prajapati Ruchi and Akuti, then King Rishabhadev, son of Nabhi and Meru Devi, Prithu Maharaj, and then Matsyavatar, Kurmavatar, Dhanvantari, and there is whole this list, and finally in the 28th, 29th, there is this Paribhas Sutra of whole Srimad Bhagavatam. Paribhasa Sutra is the whole essence of the whole Bhagavatam is mentioned here, which is that Krishna is supreme person of Godhead. Uh, he is the source of all incarnations. All these and above and are either plenary portions or portions of the plenary portions of the Lord. They appear whenever the atheists create a disturbance in the world. Hmm. We see in that way, Ete cham sakala pumsam Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam Indrari Vyakulam Lokam Hridayanti Yuge Yuge Hridayanti to uplift, yeah, because the gravity of the material world is always towards hmm, uh, privilege or facility given so that one can use his free will, and sometimes one may use it for good and one may use for bad, and when that bad is dominant, then to protect the good and to re-establish the good religion, the Lord appears in various incarnations. And here it is mentioned in the verse number 29, what is the benefit of knowing all about this? One may think, why should I know all these things? The essence given here is that जन्म गुह्यम भगवतो य एतत् प्रयतो नरः सायं प्रातर् घृणं भक्त्या दुःख ग्रामाद् विमुच्यते. The falastuti of this particular knowing about the incarnations of the Lord is simply by reciting the transcendental births and activities of the Lord with devotion, one gets relief from all miseries. Hmm? And then how one can see, then there is further explanation, yeah, because we may have heard there is also a concept of universal form, and Krishna also showed Arjuna a universal form. What is this universal form is also explained here and also will be explained in the second canto. When we come to that, we will go in further detail. And then um, this material forms of the Lord, which is Virat Roop and living being, are explained in this 30 to 34. I'm just using this wonderful book, Bhagavad Supodhini, in the light of that. Hmm. And further, it was understanding of powerful Lord, who is the Creator. Saveda dhatu padavim parasya duranta viryasya rathanga pane. It said, the Lord who holds the chariot wheel, he is the Creator. Is possible for one who renders unreserved, uninterrupted, and favorable service to the Lord. Only he can understand the powerful Lord. Yo Mayaya. Otherwise, the Lord is covered by his Yogamaya. After hearing that, the Lord is understood only by bhakti. The sages of Naimasharanya were lamenting that they did not have bhakti. Prabhupada mentions that in the purport. To encourage them, Suta Goswami praises their transcendental qualities. He is saying, you are very fortunate. You are most fortunate. Why? Because you have asked nice questions. Your questions are so much important. Why? Because they are wonderful inquiries about the Lord, Lord Vasudeva, which invoke transcendental ecstatic love unto Him and guarantee full immunity from birth and death. Hmm. So, saying so, then Suta Goswami is saying, I am going to tell you about Srimad Bhagavatam. Why? This Bhagavatam is so great. Brahma Sammitam Uttama Shloka Charitam Chakara Bhagavan Rishihi. This Brahma Sammitam, the incarnation of Lord Krishna, Uttama Shloka Charitam, the activity of the Supreme Lord, Chakara Bhagavan Rishi, is compilation of whom? Of Srila Vyasadev. And Nishreyasya Sahaya Lokasya, for the ultimate goal, good of the people, Dhanyam Swasti Ayanam Mahat. All successful, all blissful, and all perfect. This is the glories of Srimad Bhagavatam. And Srila Vyasadeva is answering question number 6 here in the 43rd verse, that this Bhagavad Puran is as brilliant as sun, dispelling the darkness of ignorance of Kali Yuga. Why? It has arisen after Krishna departed for his abode. Krishnesva Dhamopagate Dharma Jnanadibihi Saha Kalo. Dharma Jnana etc. Kalo nasta drisham esha puranarko adhunodita. It has risen after, just after Krishna departed from for his own abode, accompanied by religion, knowledge, etc. So the when Lord left, yeah, when Lord left, everything left with him. But the Lord has left Srimad Bhagavatam. Uh, so it is said that Srimad Bhagavatam is the form, literal form of the same Lord Sri Krishna who left. And when Sukadeva Goswami spoke Bhagavatam to Maharaj Parikshit, Suta Goswami was there. And that's why when Suta Goswami is now narrating to the sages of Naimisharanya, there is this parampara is still there. Parampara of Bhagavatam is Vyasadev, Sukadeva Goswami to Parikshit Maharaj, Sukadeva Goswami to Suta Goswami, and Naimisharanya sages. And in this way, yeah, we conclude this particular chapter in which we can see very briefly all these questions are answered. Yeah. Question 1: what is the ultimate goal for humanity? It is devotional service. What is the essence of all scriptures? It is to practice bhakti. Uh, Krishna's appearance is the next question. Yeah, Krishna appeared to attract pure souls back to Godhead so that one gets out of the cycle of birth and death. Hmm? And Purushavatars is mentioned, Leelavatars are also mentioned, and ultimately after Krishna left, Krishna's departure, shelter for religion is in the form of taking shelter of Srimad Bhagavatam. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Thank you, Prabhu. Hare
I don't know.
Krishna.
Is it easy to follow while we were reading?
Yes, I think for me it was.
Okay. Yep. Okay. Yeah, I think we are now still getting a very, very brief introduction of how all this started. When we slowly get into the next further parts, we'll come across wonderful pastimes about who was Narada in his past life, and about Pandavas departing, and Dhritarashtra and Queen Kunti, and all these things are very, very nice where we can relish Bhagavatam further. And thank you very much for joining, and looking forward tomorrow. It's very nice. वंशकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। ग्रंथराज श्रीमद्भागवतम की जय। श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। हरे कृष्ण।